Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sundays with Max. Hope you guys are all doing well. Yeah, the Illini lost today, but hey, at least they won on my birthday, which was Friday. So I had that much going for me on Friday. It made my day a happy day at the end of the day. So that was good, but definitely having a good weekend. Go over a few things I did this weekend because they're kind of relevant. But before we do that, let's check to see who is here. We got Son of a Rabbit, Crypto Tito, Burn, All Set, Travelers Travels, Frogman, Paddywhack Miner, Financial Failure, good to see you, sir, Shides, Vinny Del Greco, Big 8 Mining, Red Fox, thank you for coming. Good to see you. Ka Valley Crypto. Good to see you. I just missed what that was. I'll get to the super chat in a minute as I go down. I just saw something pop up on the screen. So let's see. Kaveh, Crypto Shides. And it just jumped on me. I hate it when it does that. Peepaw Bill. DJ Mines 22. Put a 22 in the chat for DJ. Black Hat Team. Less to Dog C57. Todd Tebow. 4J Gaming with Smokey Dan. Again, thanks for the music. Appreciate that. Integra Guy 04, my oldest, well, not my oldest, my longest well, no, that's going to come out wrong. He has been a member longer than anybody else. There we go. I said Paddywhack already. I can't even believe I almost said that. Douglas Hayen. Mad Investor, Kenneth Roble. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate it. Enable BMO, my local neighbor. Good to see you, sir. The Toxic Miner. Of course, the infamous Sunflower Mama is here at my side. I think I said 4G already. Let's see. Chump Change. Good evening to you, sir. Retro Mike Tech here for Sunflower Mama. Yes, of course. Everybody's here for her. What are you talking about? What was that? Oh, thanks for the super chat, Retro Mike. I will get down to that in a second. Where did it go? Oh, there it was. Oh, it was just super chat. But thank you for the $4.99 super chat. I very, very much appreciate that. All right. Well, what I did today. So all of my Vast AI stuff has been up and running really consistently. especially the Octo server and my 8 GPU rig on the H12 SSL, I think is what it's called. Anyway, that motherboard. Anyway, the Octo server did the job, dropped. I didn't have any stored jobs. I'm like, finally, I need to fix the GPU that's in there. There was 1 gigabyte GPU in there that had the last fan, the one that blows through. That one was completely dead. It was a wobbly fan and it would not start. Every time it would try to start, it would wobble and then basically jiggle itself to death. So I needed to get that one fixed. I've had fans for a while. I just needed to get it where I didn't have a job on it. And it was doing fine as far as temps because it's been cold. So I've got outside air coming in the basement. So it was fine as far as temps go. But obviously we're going to warmer temps. It was a perfect opportunity. But the task was not going to be easy, which I knew that. The only way to do it somewhat easy is to actually like just take it completely apart. I didn't want to do that. There are 6 screws that connect the fan shroud to the actual heatsink itself. The problem is getting to those screws. A couple of them really easy, like the middle ones, super easy. There's 6. There's 4 in the corners and then 2 in the middle on each side. The 2 in the middle were super easy. Those were not a problem. You still had to unscrew them at an angle, so you had to be like really careful to make sure you didn't strip them. I thought I had actually stripped one of them, the hard one, to get to. The 2 on the top corners weren't hard to in the end. Those came out relatively easy. It was the bottom corners, you know, the ones on the PCIe side. Those were the difficult ones. One of them was a lot easier. The one on the front side, the one next to all the connectors. That one wasn't so hard as long as I took the faceplate off. So I had to take out the 9 screws that connected in the faceplate. And then I could get to it a little bit easier. And then, but the one on the back was the tough one. Let me bring up this picture. Not that one. There we go. I don't have my other camera connected. That was for the other camera shot. But anyway, as you can see, like right here. Oh, actually, let me do that. Right here. That is where the screw is. And this actually wraps around so that you can't get to it. So my idea was to get the Dremel and actually Dremel out a small section. I mean, it was blocking the heatsink anyway. I actually improved it by getting rid of a small piece. Did it look as good? No. I mean, it had nicer flow of lines with it there, but didn't do anything to the integrity of it or anything. But, and when I say we took a Dremel, I mean Sunflower Mama took the Dremel. I'm not a power tool guy. So she took the Dremel. She actually was thinking about maybe even getting out like, what blade were you talking about? Yeah, a little hacksaw and just doing it that way. But I was like, I think the Dremel will be a lot safer. So she used the Dremel. What was interesting was as she was using the Dremel, it was basically melting the plastic. So had to be really careful. No, I know. Yeah, this one was for metal. But we got the piece off, which made it a lot better to get to that screw. But it was still very difficult to get to, still a little difficult to see. I thought I had stripped it. I took pictures of, I'm like, oh, we're screwed. And I'm like, all right, let me try this other screwdriver bit that's slightly bigger than the other one. So I had gotten, hang on, I had gotten this kit. It was from AutoZone. But the reason why I got it was because of the flex on this side, this flex thing. Here, I'll just take it out so you can see it. But anyway, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. So I could use the flex and take advantage of it. The problem is that this piece is too long. So when I'm trying to screw down, well, the whole thing with the bit on the end and this, I'm already at the metal backplate. So there's no way to actually make use of that effectively, unfortunately. So I really ended up using this, since this was the smallest, you know, shaft of all of the things I had, the iFixit kit is rounder. So this was going to work the best. And so I used that and just was like super, super careful, pushing down as hard as I could and turning slowly so that I didn't like just totally strip the hell out of it. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's finally moving. So we got all the screws out. You know, once I did that, the fan replacement was super easy. It's a standard fan replacement. The nice thing was that they had connectors in the middle. That was the intention of where you were supposed to replace the fans. You weren't supposed to go all the way to the board. So I didn't even have to touch the connectors on the board, which can be a little difficult. But like I said, once I got it off, it was really pretty easy. And then putting it back together, I left those two corner screws out. Like I said, they were on the bottom, and I don't have it like horizontal, it's vertical. So gravity's going to work, as far as keeping it in place. I'm not worried about that. And I still have that middle screw on that bottom. So it's being held in place just fine. So I have, those two screws actually sitting in the case with all the tools that I just showed you. Yeah, I guess I can embiggen myself now.
Seven wants to know how many RTX Pro 6000 GPU.
Can we order them? Swamp 7? Is there a place to order them from? Because, yeah, I definitely want one. No question. I know they're like $8,500, but I mean, I don't see how that's not going to be super profitable. It has the equivalent memory of 4 4090s or 3 5090s. I know I'm embiggening myself. Hold on. There we go. So yeah, I was going to talk about that tonight. It's one of the things I wanted. Well, I mean, it's in the subject, so of course you guys know I'm going to talk about it. But I definitely want to get one. No question. I think it'll be profitable. I would, if possible, like to get it from a place like Micro Center or Best Buy where there's a 30-day return policy. So that if I get one and things don't quite work out like I thought they were going to, I have 30 days to kind of figure it out and go, oopsie, this isn't going to work, and send it back. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, if you know of a place, please let me know, because I definitely want one. Definitely want one. Yeah, I'm thinking 6,000. 6,000, because here's the thing, 96 gig of memory, and it's only 600 watts. You have the ability to split that GPU into 4. You can share that GPU, that one GPU. You could put this in like a server, a home server, and have 4 people gaming on it with 24 gigabytes of memory each. So probably with about 5060 Ti equivalent performance, but with just a ton of memory. So you wouldn't have to worry about any type of loading delays or anything like that. So that would be, yeah, that thing's going to be amazing. It's really going to be amazing for specific applications. I think it'll do extremely well on Vast because of how many 4 GPU 4090 rigs there are. And this would be like the equivalent. Because again, why do you get 4 4090 GPU rigs? Because of the amount of VRAM. You can run a lot on those rigs. Obviously, you can run more with 8. But it would just be phenomenal to see like what that could do. Knowing myself, I'll probably take more of a wait and see. I want to see somebody put it up on Vast first before I get one. But like I said, if I can find some place where there's a 30-day return policy, then I would jump all over that. Absolutely. Absolutely. How about you, Swamp 7? Oh, yes, directly from Nvidia. I still have a contact from some university work. They sold RTX Titans at a huge discount to my CS class. Oh, yeah, hell. if you can get a discount. I know I saw it was like $8,500 approximately for the GPU. But again, if you look at the cost per, I mean, if you look at it, you're really talking about $2,500 minimum for a 4090. And so that is, you know, going to be about $7,500 to get 3 of those to be equivalent to the amount of memory that you would find in a 6000. So obviously you're not going to have as much, you know, raw performance with it, but think about how much in the way, if somebody's really got a big job to do, I mean, now you're competing against the big boys in a sense, you know. I forgot the L something, L100, L200, L40, I don't know, the ones that have 48 gig of RAM in them. I mean, this is double, and that's a data center GPU. Oh, I really want one of these. I totally want one of these. Anybody else want one of them out there? I know there aren't a lot of people that are doing Vast AI in Salad, but yeah, it would be absolutely amazing. All right, let me go back up on the comments, see if I missed any that have tagged me. So please tag me. No, now you jinxed it. Are you talking about the fans? Is that what you were talking about? Anyway, let's see what else you guys. Okay, you talked about that, and then you talked about that. All right, so I guess I did hit all of the ones. So yeah, I wasn't even thinking I would even touch that for a while, but let me go into the article. Is this the one? That is not the one. Where is the article that I was just talking about? What the hell? I had the article up. It was WCCF Tech. That's that one. That's not it. That's not it. Oh, wait a minute. Is this it? No, but I do want to cover that too. This is the one. All right, let me switch back to the other shot. Okay. So yeah, this is the RTX Pro 6000 is the GPU. And they were basically putting it through games, and they're like, you know what? It's barely faster. It's like 2% faster, but theoretically it should be 19% faster with 3 times the VRAM. But here's where they were talking about MIG support. Can be up to 4 basically GPUs, each having 24 gig. That would be cool. That would be really cool. But and then again, this is only in a dual slot card. Now, one of the things I did think about as I was looking at this was I would really like somebody to get it and open it up and see if they've changed anything about the power connector. I mean, as far as how they're distributing it. That would be interesting. It would be very interesting. I suspect not. I'm guessing the only thing that they did is that they have obviously a different GPU die, as well as just a more dense memory chip that they're putting on there. I don't know what memory chips they use on the 5090, but obviously they're going to use one that's 3 times the size, would be my guess. I don't know how they would fit more memory chip locations on that PCB. There was something else on here. I was looking towards the bottom. Yeah, here's where they were talking about the multi-instance GPU capability. And I thought that was cool. There was something else. I know they were talking about it's probably just doesn't have a good driver yet, which is why it's not able to take advantage of it. Let's see. Yeah, I guess that was it. I thought there was something at the bottom I wanted to mention, but no big deal. But there was that. Now, so and that was a really cool announcement at GTC. But what really ticked me off was this. Come on. Well, when it switches over, you'll see it. Sorry, my computer, my Chrome has been having a few issues, and it's not because of how many tabs there are there. I have been taking down tabs left and right. While I'm waiting for that to come up, the article was talking about the fact that Nvidia was selling out of a food truck, selling 5080s and 5090s. And I was like, okay, hold on. How many 5090s were they selling at GTC? And if you scroll down in this article, they said they were selling 1,000 of each. 1,000 5090s right there. 1,000 of the GeForce RTX 5090 mouse. That's 3 times the number that they had at launch at, well, and the AIB partners with Micro Center. We know that the Best Buys had a lot less than that. And not all of these 1,000 were Nvidia models. So again, they're keeping it out of consumers' hands. So you had to buy a minimum of a ticket of about $1,000 to get into GTC. So as far as I'm concerned, Nvidia is scalping their own product. It's ridiculous. That really ticked me off when I saw that. Really ticked me off. Oh, how do you guys feel about that though? That really, really annoyed me, to say the least. Hello, Geek of Trades. How are you? The goat. It's a fucking goat. All right. Let me track back here. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Let's see. Yes, the fans. The bigger question is how much of the GPU is used to keep the simulation of the world and universe running. Well, that all depends on whether you took the red pill or the blue pill. Anyway. All right. Well, that was that. All right, but now let's get into crypto stuff, because it's pretty interesting what's going on in the market right now. Do anybody see that the market went up a bit? It's come back down, but it spiked all the way up to 86.5, or right about 86.5, and now it's come back down to 85.81. What's interesting is there is an article. Was it this one? No, it was this one. Bitcoin eyes 90K as 515 million short liquidation nears. So again, this was 14 hours ago. But what they basically said was if Bitcoin reaches 85,557, a 515 million short position held by a major market participant is at risk of being liquidated. Such an event could result in a rapid short squeeze, pushing Bitcoin towards the $90,000 mark in a short period. So for those people that may not know what a short position is, basically it's a position where you believe that the market's going to go down and you're leveraged. Well, you don't have to be leveraged in a short position, but most of the time you would be leveraged. Well, the problem is that means that you are losing money faster. When the market goes up, you're losing money, depending on how much you're leveraged, faster than your actual assets. So bottom line is that you are going to be forced to buy Bitcoin to liquidate your position. That's what you have to do. So that's why they're saying, okay, well, if we get past this point, then those people are going to be forced, or at least have to start really seriously thinking about it. So I don't know the details of all the positions, but that means that at that point they're at a loss. It's hard to tell, I think, from what they're looking at, how much is leveraged, how much isn't. He's assuming that it's leveraged. Anyway, there's definitely a certain percentage of that 515 million that is going to be forced to liquidate. Now, I don't know the timing of that either, because if you look at, we go back, you know, we're looking at this. This was at 25 minutes before the start of the stream. And obviously there was some profit taking, but at the same time, there may be guys that are trying to manipulate the market to bring it back down to where they're less likely to have to liquidate. So this is going to be a key point of a battle between those guys that have to liquidate if it goes too high, and it's kind of a chicken or the egg, I guess, kind of thing, or I should say more like playing chicken. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but it is interesting. That was called 14 hours ago, and we did have a nice little move upwards. So we'll see what happens there. I think the first part of this week, I think we'll see good things. That's in my opinion. But as we get closer to the April 2nd tariff deadline, there's the uncertainty that people have kind of forgotten about right now will be brought back into attention. The only question is will it get brought back into attention because all those tariffs are going to go into place, or that there was a negotiation and a resolution? Obviously, in my opinion, we should all be hoping for that, because that will take uncertainty out of the market and everybody can kind of take a deep breath and say, okay, business as usual. Now, where do we think the market's going now that we've resolved all this uncertainty? So we shall see. We shall see. The other thing, Ethereum basically forms a megaphone bottom. Now, I don't know what the hell that is, but if you look at how it compares, this is now. This is 2017. So that's pretty interesting. I'm sorry, 2019 to 2020. So this is really, really interesting to see how the two charting patterns are pretty darn similar. This is the 50-day, I think. But anyway, where it's in the same range. So it's going to be interesting. So I think Ethereum has a lot of things going for it right now. One of them is the fact that they are going to be upgrading. They have, I forget what it's called, Petra. Yeah, the Petra upgrade. Then there's a lot of good things there, especially with usability for DeFi. It's going to make things a lot easier. And I know a lot of people are really excited about that, thinking that it'll bring in more of the normies because it'll take a lot of the complications out. You won't have to be like, oh, do I need to have this much Ethereum in order to transact in this token? Nope. You won't have to worry about that. They will take other tokens. You can liquidate other tokens or even the token you're trading in order to fulfill those fees. So it'll be good. It will be good once it's been rolled out. I haven't really looked to see what the update has been. I figured probably come the beginning of April, we'll have a much better idea as to when they're actually going to roll it out. It was supposed to be beginning of April, but then they delayed it. Kind of thinking it'll be sometime in May at this point. Who said that? Yeah, I mean, I would love for them to send me one so I could review it, but that ain't happening. But I would see, it's a thing. It's kind of, you say potato, I say potato, because I can buy one if I could buy one from like Micro Center or whatever, but it doesn't sound like I could. It sounds like you have to order it from Nvidia. But if I could get it from a retailer where I could then return it, that would be ideal. But considering this is even beyond, prosumer, I don't think that anybody's going to be carrying this stuff. Game you Smokey Dan. Let's call the whole thing off. Yeah. Quote by Carlos Castaneda. I'm not familiar with that bacon, eggs, and hash. I would love to learn though. Let me know. Yeah, I'll mine on it if they send it. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do on it. Although, what the heck mining is going to use 96 gigs of VRAM? Nothing. So it would be kind of a waste. Not even kinda. It would be a waste. You need to put that thing on some type of AI platform. So yeah. Geek of all trades, Little Max. Little Max, what? I totally don't get it. Sorry. All right. Couple other things. Vast is not looking very pretty. I'm wondering if it is spring break for a lot of colleges. I'm hoping that's the reason, because boy, since 3/14 we have been doing nothing but diving, and I was doing fine until today. So I'm doing okay. I've got 9 out of 15 of my 4090s that are rented. Well, I should say last time I checked. Let me do a quick refresh just to make sure. Well, I probably just jinxed myself. I'm showing this. Oh, yes, I'm Minimax, because I was talking about this screen, the one that I have up. But yeah, I've got 9 out of 15 4090s that are rented. 3060s, I only have 1 rented, which is really weird because it's the one in my Unraid server. And that one has a bad fan, so I've got it like power limited down to 120 watts to make sure the temps stay low. And all the other ones, not rented, which they don't have any power limit. Go figure. I don't get it. And then I have my 3090, which is the one right behind me in that server. It's on a VM. That one's verified. That one is also rented. So I'm doing okay. Obviously, it'd be nice if I got some of these 3060s verified. And I have 2 3090s that I don't know what I'm going to do because they are just... So the thing with Vast is occasionally they have some bugs. And it can get really annoying. But anyway, let me talk about this real quick before I go on that rant. So yeah, right now, it's the first time I can remember where there were less 4090s rented than were available. Usually it's been over 50%, but you can see in the last day, we went from 2654 and 2100 available. And we basically pretty much almost reversed that. We're at 2200 verified. So we've lost 400 rented units. And one of those is 4 on my Octo server. So yeah. But, you know, it goes through these shuffles. I mean, it's not the first time it's ducked down. And like I said, I think it's related to spring break. That's what I'm thinking. All right. Let me go back to Big Me. So yeah, so talking about Vast. So Vast, like I said, I've done really well with Vast. It's definitely more profitable for me than Salad. I'm currently making about 24 to 25 cents per 4090. If you look at Salad, which I can pull up here, I'll go back over there. Let me switch back. What was that? Oh yeah, because I'm leaning hard on the anyway. So 4090 is averaging 17.5 cents. So the top 25% are making 23.6 cents, but that's still not that great. It's really not that great. The minimum on Vast on that Grafana shows that it's like around 20 cents, but I really haven't made less than 23. And And when I'm on something, I'm on it consistently. So when you're looking at this, I'm looking at the average, which in this case is 17.5. 4090s just aren't great on Salad from a profitability perspective. They just aren't. Interesting to see the 3090s finally have picked up, although you can see it's 10 cents versus 17.8. This tells you that there's a lot that are not rented. You're going to have less than half that are rented. But it is nice to see that they finally got back up in the high category, because boy, I took all of mine off of Salad because they had been doing well, but wow, they just took a dump. But my 3060 Ti has been doing pretty well. It's been in the moderate, and you can see here 0.043, 0.046, and there are some that are making 0.054. Am I still? Find out in a second. Oh, wrong thing. Yeah, I still have one. This one's making 5.45 cents an hour for a 3060 Ti. That's good. That is good. On you would expect on an unverified 3060 Ti, on VAST you're going to be making maybe 4 cents. But again, you can see here though, one is doing really well, one is off and on, and that seems very, very typical. It is interesting. There are some people that make a claim that Salad is trying to balance, load balance amongst everybody, trying to make everybody happy, as opposed to your best renters getting the majority of the jobs. So what I've seen is that, yeah, I'm like half rented during the time. There's been other people that have broken the rules and have gotten a different ID for each computer. And by doing that, Salad doesn't know that this host and this host are the same. You would think that they would be able to do it because of IP address. I'm just telling you that I've definitely heard stories where people have tried this and they believe they do much better when they have separate accounts. Again, it's against their terms of service. So I'm not saying do it. I'm just simply stating that it shows that it's how they allocate the jobs may not really be beneficial to dedicated people that are, just running Salad. So yeah. All right. Now I'm big in my face again. There we go. All right. Let me, all right, let me go back. There's been a bunch of tags. Let me, Embiggen. Yes, it's a real word. It's a real word, definitely. Journey to Ixtalan. Okay, I am not familiar with that bacon, eggs, and hash, but thank you for sharing the reference. Swamp 7. Whenever you have a good week, I have a shit week, and whenever you have a bad week, I have a great week. Interesting. Very interesting. Don't be like Panda. Fix them fans. I can hear his toilet rig crying out when I sleep. What?
It's got bad fans. It makes loud noises. Just crap.
Which rig?
No, you're talking about Panda.
Oh, okay. No, I take care of the fans. Like I said, I just replaced a fan. We're all good. All my fans are running. All my fans are running. Game is spinning. I thought I blacked out then. You knocked your cam and all went black. Oh, did it? Okay. Yeah. It's really dry in here. And I actually thought I killed my keyboard today because for a period of time, it would not work. I had to like turn it off, turn it back on, switch it between Bluetooth, USB, and then it finally came back to life. But I saw when I touched it, it got a big shock and the LEDs flickered a little bit. I was like, oh no, no, I love this keyboard, but it is still working. So I'm hoping that I didn't kill it. Right now, like I said, it seems like it's still alive. But anyway, but yeah, when I touch like this, and right now I've got socks on, but if I touch this and I shock this, yeah, it goes all the way through and will either turn off the camera or turn off a monitor. Yeah, it'll do that. It will do that. I have thought about putting like Pergo or wood or bamboo, something like that in here, but then man, it's just going to be really echoey. It's nice having the carpet, you know, soak up some of that energy. Rude Puts is here. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. All right. And Rizzo529. Sunflower Mama, I took etymology in high school back in the dark ages and remembered we learned that word. It's not a real word. I don't think it's a real word, but anyway. Yes, and I said it again, so put more drinks out there. All right, let's see what else. Oh, that's the other thing. I forgot about that. 2 more things. I think that was it to talk about. First thing is, how many people out there have put a 20, not 22, put a 20 in the chat if you have a DIMO? Then, once you've done that, put a 10 in the chat if you have staked your DIMO. Yeah, everybody knows DIMO has, or everybody knows DJ has a DIMO. DJ, do you have Sword Chain? I've been hearing not so great things about it, but I was just curious if you had any. So we got a few people out there that's got some demos. So why aren't you staking it, DJ? You hate money? I thought you liked money. So it just got the ability to stake. And it's not hard to do once you know how to do it. They have a 6-month stake. You can earn 11% more on top of what you are making now. One of the things I did, so Swan Capital Crypto, another YouTuber, if you haven't subscribed to him, subscribe to him. Good guy. Definitely makes good content. Well, he made a video about this 8 days ago. I don't remember if he was the one how I found out about it. But I did watch his video yesterday. But I knew about it before then, so I'm not sure how I found out about it. Regardless, he went through a lot of different things, but when he was going through the process of how to stake your DIMO, I was like, interesting. His says 6 months for 20% more, a year for 40% more, and 60% more for 2 years. And I'm like, that's a lot higher than what I have. So I'm pretty sure that this is like Ethereum, where the more people that stake, the lower the return. And that's actually pretty common. If you look at Flux, when you are running a Flux node, which is kind of like staking, but you're doing something a little bit more active, the more nodes that are on there, the less you make, because you have to split it, just like mining. So it's that type of thing. So right now, last time I checked, it was 11% to stake for 6 months. But 11% more is not bad. And I don't intend to sell DIMO in the next 6 months. Now, do I expect to sell it before the end of the year? What I have? Yeah. I will plan on that. So I'm only doing the 6 months and then I'll be out but I figure, hey, I'll make an extra, probably like 60 or 70 DIMO in the process. Why not? And I have 2 DIMOs. So it'll be like more like 130 to 140, somewhere in that range, 120 to 140, somewhere in that range. But again, it all depends on how many people stake their DIMO. But I will be doing a video on that. It was one of the things I worked on yesterday was what was the best way to actually take my phone screen and put it on the computer so that I can record it that way, as opposed to trying to record it on the phone itself. So I'm going to be doing it that way. So I have that video.
Is that okay if you take it down 45 days? 45 days.
Oh, really? So you can just do it for 45 days, get the bonus? Well, then what's the point of making it 6 months? That would be weird. What's the point of it being a 6 month? Huh.
It only comes if you don't wait 45 days.
It's 45-day off-ramp with no rewards during cooldown. If you unstake immediately, it's 30% penalty. Okay. 30% of what you were paid out. But that's fine. So, I mean, that's not really uncommon. I mean, we'll say that the off-ramp is a little long at 45 days, but it's not uncommon. I know I off-ramped my my Jupiter, and that was a 30-day off-ramp. You don't make anything while you're off, while you're unstaking. That's very common. Yeah, but again, the 45 days is a little long. But not really. Again, not really a big deal to me. I'm going to be doing it before the beginning of April. So basically by the middle of November. Right? Yeah, by the middle of November, I'll be able to sell it. And I think that's going to be at the point where I think that's going to be where I'm going to want to sell. But again, if you look at it, think about, I'm not talking about big dollar amounts. How much is 500 DIMO anyway? $35. So it could eventually be a lot more. I hope it'll be a lot more, but yeah, I don't know. Want to support the project, and I think it's going to be around for a while. I don't know. I'm going to do it. Like I said, I will do a video on how to do it in the app. Was planning on doing that until this happened with the fan, with the Octo server rig having no renter on it and nothing being stored on it. So it was a perfect opportunity for me to do that. So I did tape some of that. I haven't looked at what I taped to see if it was any good. But I will be putting out a video on the changing of those fans at some point. Like I said, I knew I wanted to get that done today. I had no plans to make that video until that happened. So I've got those two things are kind of top of mind. And then I still have the one I've been really wanting to do has been the Vast, comparing Vast and Salad. And was going to start out with, do you like money? Do you? All right, well, then I'm going to show you how Vast is far superior to Salad and see if I'm able to hook people in that way. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I am up to 8,830 subscribers, trying to get to that 10,000 subscribers, trying to get to that milestone. Definitely trying to get to that milestone. So unfortunately, the last couple of weeks have been really busy with things going on at work, mainly things going on at work, a little bit going on with my dad. But my dad's doing good. Dad is doing better. Technically in hospice, but he's eating and drinking, which is great. That's what he needs to do to stay alive. So, but he seems to be doing much better. So we're going to hope for the best. He is 89 years old. So, alrighty. Now to the question and answer, because I think that pretty much, I forgot one more thing. Another thing that's going on with Solana, shifting gears to Solana, is I was just talking about Jupiter. Well, Titan is a new DEX aggregator for Solana, which saves money when you're transacting, even more than Jupiter. On top of that, some people that have tested Titan have also said that they have been getting better prices with Titan. So I have not tried it. I did sign up for their wait list to try to be able to be a part of it. Right now, it's kind of like an open beta at this point. But again, you have to. It's a beta, not really open, because you have to sign up, and they will gradually bring more and more people in. But keep your eyes out for Titan. As far as I know, I don't think Titan has their own token at this point, not like Jupiter, as far as I know. Yeah, I think that will, again, anytime you're able to lower the costs even more, and be able to have more and more transactions. So yeah, it'll be good for Solana as well. All right, questions, people. Anybody got questions or topics you want me to cover? Let me scroll up and see. Gaming with Smokey Dan. All this talk of steak is making me hungry. Yeah, actually, what did everybody have for dinner? We had like a midday dinner, and then we just had snacks tonight. But we had a midday. We have a place that, serves a little bit of everything: gyros, tacos, burgers, all that kind of stuff. Well, I love, because again, being on keto, I love their gyro burger. It is really good. They put grilled onions on it, cheese, without a burger. It's just really good. Really, really good. So I enjoyed that today. We also, last night we had, kind of did my birthday dinner last night. And we had chicken, like a rotisserie chicken from this Cuban place. Oh my God. Sorry, Colombian, not Cuban, Colombian. And just with all the flavor, it was so good. It was so good. I can't remember the last time I enjoyed chicken that much. It was so good. So good. So, yeah, I'm probably making you guys all hungry now. Did the camera just go out again? Yeah, it did. Yes, it did. Yeah, because static. Thank you, Gaming Smoking Dan. I appreciate it. Rizzo529 says, I made cheeseburgers, cheesy mashed potatoes, and green beans for my daughter and myself. Then a lot of dishes after. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm actually 48 pounds lost now. Almost at the 50. Very, very close. Very close. And then after that, I will only have 25 more pounds. So I'm trying to get to 75 pounds lost. It is nice though. I'm able to get into like clothes I hadn't worn in a while, and they actually like fit properly. I'm not saying that I like the way they fit, but they fit properly. I don't have like Dunlap's disease.
I'm worried about killing somebody with a button.
Yeah, or worrying about killing the sunflower mouth I just said, or worrying about killing somebody with a button. That's punny, Smokey Dan. Very punny. How's the keto working out? You're looking thinner. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yes, it's working out really well. And the thing is that right now, I'm still focused on being keto, but not as being as strict. So I'm kind of having a few kind of cheat foods along the way. So like what we have at home is we have blood orange San Pellegrino, but it's the 0 one. So it has fewer calories. It isn't as orangey, but it's enjoyable. It's like 20 calories. So I had 2 of these today. 40 calories. Each one of them has 7 grams of carbs. So I'm trying to stay below 30. I was trying to stay below 20. I'm not as worried about that as I was. So yeah. Yes, 75 pounds is like a whole Sixth grader. Yes, that's a pretty good analogy. Yeah, I was pretty fat. Still considered overweight. I'm definitely not thin yet, guys. I am still overweight. I'm just not in the obese category anymore. But it is kind of nice. I've been looking at my numbers. Visceral fat, I don't know if it's a percentage or what, but the number is at 11 is when they consider it acceptable. They want you to be at either 7 or 8. I'm at a 10 right now. So I'm in the acceptable range. That is a huge good thing. Not that I've had any cardiac problems at this point, but no reason to not be healthy at that point. And let's see. What do you think about Radiant as a project? I don't know much about it. The market cap is only 4 mil. You know what? I don't really know much about Radiant. Sorry to say. I looked it up at one point, but that was so long ago that I looked at it. At one point, I liked it. I decided that I was going to get 250,000 Radiant. Mine that much. I did, and then I stopped. And I still have the 250,000 Radiant. I've not sold. I did sell all my Alephium. I did not sell my Radiant. So maybe that should tell you something. Well, Alephium had a run, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out. It'll come back down. And it did. I just haven't gotten back in. So I might get back in. Haven't decided yet. Have not decided yet. Any other questions out there? Chemical flavor is always better than fruit sugar. Well, it doesn't spike. What's the word I'm looking for? Insulin. None of the fake sugars spike insulin. That's what I find interesting. I thought they would still spike insulin. They don't. So, and this one has like almost no fake sugar. The last ingredient is sucralose, which means there's a little bit in it, but not much. Not much. I was stupid and bought the AL0. You weren't the only one. You weren't the only one. People had a thought that, hey, if you get in early on these things, you know, you'll make money. And that was the pattern for a long time. But the problem is, oh, there goes the screen again as I touched the mic stand. I got to figure out something else I can touch when I want to move the mic instead of hitting the mic. Because it shouldn't do it now. Yeah, because I just did it. Anyway, I just think that it was that was the pattern for so long that everybody then believed it and became a self-fulfilling like prophecy. But then they started like immediately like selling one and then upgrading it and then another one very much in quick succession to one another, that it just drove the hash rate just to sky high. Just makes it crazy. And if you think about it, for the longest time, Doge and Litecoin were like the best one because everybody wasn't paying attention to it. There was always this other shiny object. But when there wasn't a shiny object, what happened? AlphaPex came in and said, yeah, we're going to do a Doge Litecoin miner. And you know, we're going to do a home one too. Everybody went, that looks interesting. I think we'll do one too. And there's just so many mining companies now. So many. That it wasn't like Bitmain could control the entire market like they could before. By just basically saying, hey, if you want to get into this market, you're going to have to pay through the nose. Now there's just some things that are a lot more reasonable. Yeah, so I mean, I would love to have a Doge Litecoin miner, but I keep looking at the pricing and where the hash rate is and where I think the hash rate is going. I'm like, what's the point? It's never going to break even. When was the last time, I'd love to know, anybody here, when was the last time you bought an ASIC that broke even? Now, if Chump was here, I know his L7 broke even, but that was quite a while ago. Anybody else? Anybody had an ASIC that broke even? And if it did, when did you buy it? KS0 first batch. Yep. And that was probably the last time. Maybe second and third batch, possibly. Game is plugging in. Let's say in the next few months, a GPU mineable coin already out or comes out that is extremely profitable. How many people you think will be rushing out to get hardware due to selling? It depends on how big the project is. So, for instance, you have a Leo. Probably, I didn't look to see how much it was putting out. Maybe $20,000 a day at the most, if that. So, you have a lot of people that go out and rush to get hardware. Well, it's still only $20,000. It's not like we're talking about as much money that Ethereum was putting out every single day. And so, are we ever going to get a project as big as Ethereum? No. Because Ethereum was number 2. It was the number 2 coin. So if somebody was putting that much coin into the market with a low market cap, it would just kill off the coin. The inflation would be ridiculous on that coin. So I literally don't think it's possible. Now, if existing proof of work coins either decided to get rid of ASICs, or there were a number of projects, probably between 15 and 20, that were all very promising projects, that's, I think, where, yeah, maybe we could. But with the way things have been going, everybody comes out in GPU mines, and then after that, everybody goes to ASICs and basically says, thanks, all you GPU miners. Bye. Yeah. I don't want that. When ETH back to POW? Probably never. Probably never. They have too much of a narrative on being efficient, not wasting power. That's now kind of in ETH's DNA. Again, we can argue the fact. It's not the point. My point is that it's part of their marketing spiel at this point. I got a super chat. I did. Thank you, Rizzo. Yes, Rizzo 529. 529. Kind of interesting. That's LA9, by the way, on a rotary phone. How do I know that off the top of my head? Because the prefix that I grew up with was 529. There you go. LA9. That was way back when. I never knew it as 529. My parents knew it as, never knew it as LA9. My parents knew it as LA9, and they shared it with me. So no, I did not really know it when it was LA9, but I know of it. There you go. With the new ETH upgrade, lower validator from 32 ETH down to 1. No. 32 ETH, as far as I understand it, is still going to be the minimum. It's the fact that people can stake higher amounts, like 500 times the amount, I think, something like that. Or is it 500? No, it was 16 times the amount. So it's like 512 ETH. I think it's 16 times 32, I think, or is it 8 times 32? Sorry, I did the math at some point. It's too late for math. Just here to hit this like. Thank you, Easy Edmund. I appreciate that. You know what? I didn't actually look to see what Ethereum was currently doing. Again, Bitcoin's still at about 85.63 or 85.63K. I'm going to do a quick refresh on that. See, make sure it has not changed. All right, let me see where ETH is. Here, I'll actually move it over to that screen so you can look at it with me. So Ethereum is still below 2,000. It did get above 2,000 today for a bit. Solana's at 133. I actually have a sell on that, a small sell from stuff I bought in the low 120s at 140. I'm going to take some profit. I think that might still be trading in a range. Cardano's doing pretty well, above 70 cents. Not bad. Polkadot has done well. I actually had bought some in the lower 4s and I sold some right around 4.5, a little over 4.5. And it stayed. It has not gone back down. I put another buy in around 3.85 in case it gets down there. But this is one that I was kind of hoping would continue to trade in a range. Litecoin's doing okay. It's obviously taking a bit of a hit from where it was. Caspa at 7.9 cents is certainly better than the 6.2 cents that I bought some at. I did sell that though at 7.5. Filecoin is at 3. I think I have a sale in this. I don't remember what it is. Was it 3.15? I don't remember. I have to go back and look. Jupiter 5. God, this one kills me. That was that's down almost 50% very, very recently. And FET has not been doing well. Artificial Super Intelligence Alliance. Sounds so better than so much better than FET. And Helium has been doing pretty well. It's at 3.3. HiveMapper at 3.8 cents. And I'm still hive mapping. Actually, with the job I currently have, you know, I drive an hour each way, but when I drive home, it's dark, so don't get to do that, but I get an hour going down at least, as opposed to going to work and coming home from work when it's dark out during the winter. At least I don't have that anymore. Lithium at 37.6 cents. It's been doing better, up almost 14% for the week. DIMO up about 12% for the week. That's not doing too bad. Nexa, look at that. 63.53 cents. I think I still have some Nexa. Pretty sure I do. Dynex up 29%. Radiant up 30%. So you look at this. Why are these coins up? Well, these are our proof of work. Our GPU proof of work. And I think a lot of those coins went up with the president's announcement. Pre-search is still just up 1.63% over the last week. Pyron's still around. And Neoxa, wow, down 24%. Yikes. In a week where all the other mineable coins did well, this lost 24%. That is just sad. Just sad. I own 1.2 million Neoxa, and it's worth very little. I have a node running. Still have it running. Check it every like 2 or 3 months. Just checked it actually last week. It was still running. And then Sunday swap. All right, let's see. Anybody tag me in anything? Red Panda's here. Hello, Mr. Panda. Hope you are doing well. Let's see. Gamers Dan said, I see there is a different hat on the stand now. Also, when masking off the mining. Oh, it's it'll probably stay there. Probably won't do that. It'll be like an homage.
It's carved into the wood.
Yeah, it's carved into the wood, so it would look kind of silly with the light. So, is what it is. Yeah, I know. I know you're so confused. You're easily confused, Smokey Dan. Let's see. You still got ETCMC nodes running. Yes. Yes, I still have ETCMC nodes. I haven't looked at those super recently, but this is really annoying though. And I'm just like, what do I do? So now you have to stake a certain amount of ETCMC. If you don't, you can't get a payout from the nodes you're running. So it's, for me, it's like a chicken and the egg thing. Well, I'm not mining, but I'm staking and running a node, and I won't ever be able to get a payout from those unless I stake a certain amount. And I do not have enough, even though I've been doing it for so long. I don't have enough to stake in order to be able to get payouts. So I know it's not that much money. Eventually, when I decide I'm gonna want to get my payouts, then I will stake my ETCMC that I have. But yeah, I got 3 ETCMC nodes. I got one sitting on my desk running on a NUC, I should say, and then I've got 2 downstairs running on. Sorry, I just had a flash of what I might do. Anyway, I have 2 HP mini computers that are running ETCMC nodes. And now I'm thinking, if Goat is still here, what we were talking about, I may use one of those for what we talked about. Because I won't need a GPU. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm thinking that I might move that into a project that Goat and I have been talking about. Maybe coming to fruition maybe in about the next month or so. But more on that to come. Little foreshadowing there. Might have to add, every time you say steak. Oh. I don't say that word that much. Just like I did that. I didn't say I say, yeah. Vinny, I couldn't read that quick enough. You retracted it. Wait, we're talking about coffee? What did I miss?
No, we're talking about
Oh, got it. Got it. Well, it has been an hour and 10 minutes. I'll give it 5 more minutes if you guys got any more questions. I have like so many ideas for videos that I just literally have to, in the morning, hit the record button and then just set a time limit on editing. It's, once I've edited this much, it's good enough. Period. Just only an hour on editing, no more than an hour on editing, and go from there. I think that's what I'm going to start doing. Try to get, well, I'm going to commit to doing 1 a week, but I would like to get to the point where I'm at least at 3 a week minimum. Like I said, I got a ton of ideas. Right now I've got, like I said, the 3. The DIMO staking, the one I just like taped on my Pocket 3, for the replacing the fans, and then the Vast versus Salad video. But I even have some other ones that are also very timely that I've been wanting to do. I've been writing them down. I've been using vidIQ actually, which has been helpful as far as just getting the ideas out of my head, so I can just go there and say, okay, what are my ideas that I've been talking about? So, and it's been good for generating ideas as well. So one of the things I do need is I need to do more content so it understands more of the type of content that I'm going to be doing. Because right now it's like, why would I be doing that? That doesn't make any sense. Actually, I hope, and Joker Miner's not here to talk to about this, but you guys know I've talked about it. I have put all my GPUs on 0% long-term financing. Did all 15 that way. I'm down to my last 6 out of 15 that haven't, well, sorry, 5 out of 15 that haven't been paid off. The 6th one from the end was the Nvidia one, and I missed that by a day. So I'm like, of course I was upset because that was a lot of money, like over $500 in interest fees. So I'm like, what harm could it do? Got on a chat, said, hey, saw these interest charges hit yesterday. It's only the next day. Could the interest charges be waived? Never hurts to ask. And if he said no, I was going to ask at least 5 more people. But he said yes. Now, it hasn't happened yet. But I did take screenshots of the chat. And I did have another chat who also confirmed that they should be waived as well. He saw it. He says it will happen tomorrow. So we'll see. Still waiting for it to happen. Actually, let me just double check. See if it's happened yet. I haven't checked. I think I checked early this morning, but I have not checked since then. Let's see. I'm guessing not. It's probably going to be tomorrow. Yeah, it's still here. Yeah, $563.39 interest charge. Yes, that would hurt a lot. All the other ones I've been on top of. It was just that this one was kind of a weird one. And I thought I was keeping track of it because it's Synchrony, and I have a couple other Synchrony accounts. There's one main one that I use. So I thought I was keeping track of it, and just like, wait a minute, that one's due. And then noticed that I was a day late and $1 short, more than $1 short. So hopefully I will get some good news tomorrow. But if I do get good news, I will probably be making a video on that, because things happen. It never hurts to ask, and you never know when they'll surprise you. On this one, they didn't have to. They didn't have to say yes, but they did. I didn't even have to beg. I wasn't even a Karen. I just literally said, hey, this happened yesterday. Can you waive the fees? He's like, yeah, give me a few minutes. I'll let you know. That was it. Came back and says, yep, we can do that. It literally was that easy. That easy. So don't think just because you missed or this, that, and the other thing happened, never hurts to ask. Again, it didn't hurt, I'm sure, the fact that I run a lot of money through that credit card. So I use their credit a lot. So I'm sure that didn't hurt that I was a good customer of theirs. So there you go. Must have caught them on a good day. I guess it's in chat, so it's hard to, it's hard. And like I said, I was very direct and to the point. One of the main things I always say when you're going to customer service, know what you want. What are you asking for? That's all they want. They don't want to hear you complain. And obviously I didn't have anything to complain about. I had nobody to blame but myself, but they don't want to hear you complain. They want to know how to fix your problem and move on. That's what they want. So I literally said, this is it. This is what the situation is. Can you waive the finance charges? Boom. He went, asked the boss, came back and said yes. And I said, okay, I'm going to make a payment right now to pay the rest of it in full. And so that you can then confirm that you received the amount and that it is paid in full and all that. And I got that in the chat saying, so to confirm, I'm paid in full. And he said, yes, paid in full. So I have all of that proof. So I should be good, even if I have to go back and ask. And I told him, I said, you can, if you need to go, I can do this on my own, but I was thinking that to show you that I was serious, not just trying to get this waived for, temporarily, I'm going to make the payment while you're on the phone. He's like, yeah, I got time. So we did that, chatted while I was doing that. And that was it. So very pleasant. So like I said, you gotta ask for it. Even if you think you're asking for something like way crazy, if you know what you want, just ask. What are they gonna do? Say no? Yes, they might say no. I knew when I asked, they might say no. And then I was going to try to negotiate from there. Like, well, okay, can you give me a break? I'm trying to think. There was something else recently. Yeah, I can't remember. I have to go back and look. But yeah, there were a couple of customer service things. Comcast. Oh my gosh. So Comcast, I went from, and I know I talked a little bit about this. I went from $50 a month up to $144. I got them negotiated back down to $105, but I'm trying to get them down to $70. Now, what's interesting is they now have a deal that if you start a new line, you can have a cell phone line for free as long as you are a Comcast cable customer. So I'm like, all right, well, that's $33 instead of $35, but it's almost the same amount. And I only have to move one line instead of moving two lines. So I am probably going to be calling about that this week. I got to figure out if Verizon will let me move my line this time instead of my wife and my daughter, who have already been through the pain and agony of of moving their phone lines. Yeah, which I did a video on, in case you haven't seen that. All right, what else do you guys want to talk about? Bacon, eggs, and hash. I make my own rice wine from koji infused rice. Very good for your health. Interesting. I've drank rice wine. I got drunk on rice wine in Beijing. It's Xfinity cell phone service, Pearl Rival. But yes, they do. They don't have their own cell system. This is why I don't mind changing to it. I'm on Verizon. Xfinity service uses Verizon. It's the same network. It's basically the same package. I don't really care whether it says Xfinity on my bill or Verizon on my bill. Does not matter to me. Rizzo says, I used to work in customer service IT. Yes, I just wanted to fix the issue for them and not listen to any complaining they were doing. Hated it. I know. One of the things I've tried to teach my kids is the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes is the absolute, it's like the superpower. Because that's why I feel like I can get things out of customer service when I'm on the phone with them. Because I always think, like, I don't want to annoy the hell out of them. If I'm not getting their attention, yes, then I'm going to get annoyed. Because different people operate differently. Some people just don't care about their jobs. Okay, well, I need to make you care, or I need to have you move me on to somebody else. But once you get that person that cares, it's actually relatively easy to figure out the best you're going to get. So, sorry, my wife over here is quoting Ice Age. I'm a mammal, who cares? Super easy to, oh, rice wine's easy to make. Got it. Let me see if I missed any other tags. I see I'm tagged by Red Panda, but he didn't say anything.
No, he didn't. He just tagged.
Come on, Panda. Why did you tag me? Why did you tag me? Man, what does Swamp 7 say? Swamp 7, that is how the rich get richer as long as Cosmos doesn't tank your good. Look up a little bit further. Okay. I'll look to see where you're tagged, and then I'll look up a little bit further. Okay, there we go. I was thinking of using my 300K HELOC to buy 300K in Cosmos to stake, which does 15 to 17% APY, but takes 30 days to release the funds. My HELOC is 4.5%. Could I do it? You could do it. There's no question you could do it. Is it risky? Yeah. I mean, just look. I staked Noctua. Where did that get me? I mean, I didn't lose that much money. But I mean, probably spent $1,600 getting all the Noctua to get that node, and now it's probably worth 300, something like that. So yeah, it happens. So I don't know. I don't know enough about Cosmos to say that it's, I mean, obviously it's up there. It's in the top 100, I believe, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's other cryptos that pay out, I think, about equally, that I think are less risky than Cosmos, in my opinion. Let's see. Gaming with Smokey Dan. Empathy and reading body language as well as tone of voice helps to deal with issues. Worked in both sales and customer service. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And sometimes it's like impossible to read. Story time. So when I was in bike sales, the first 2 years, actually, yeah, 2 or 3 years. I'm trying to remember exactly when it happened. It was 2 years. First 2 years were just making sure I've gotten back in with dealers because the guy before me just completely screwed the relationship. So I was getting back in, developing the relationship, helping these bike shops be successful, and I won them over. But there was one dealer that would constantly deflect every time I asked him for more business. It was always, well, you didn't do this, or the company did this. And it was always, he would always come up with something. And I'm like, there's standards in the business. Yeah. I couldn't get you that bike because it was extremely popular. I told you it was going to be extremely popular and that we wouldn't make enough of them. I can't tell you any more than I already told you to try to help you be successful. Of course, you can't say that to him because he's trying to express that he's angry and it will just escalate. So you kind of just let it go. So we get to enrollment. So every year we go through an enrollment to figure out what their commitment is going to be for product from our company. And it would define what level they would be at for a dealer, which defines what their profitability is, because it defines their price level. So this particular dealer had been much higher in level than what they had earned through the way the system was written. Okay. But I said, okay, now we have this program this year, which actually I'm like, hey, I can keep this guy at this level if he just does this. And it was like carrying some accessories that he sells anyway. Yes, it's going to take some business away from another distributor that he has, but if he orders this stuff, I can keep him at that level, and that would be better for his business. So I proposed this to him, and I'm just sitting there waiting for his response. Definitely don't ever want to interrupt somebody. So I'm just waiting. Takes a deep breath, and he's like, I'm sorry to say my name, but let's just say Max. Like, Max, you've done a lot for me the last few years. Yes, I think I can do that. My jaw hit the frickin' floor. I was ready for deflection. I was ready for not battle, because I didn't want to escalate it, but I was going to have the difficult conversation to say, well, then I'm sorry, you're going to be brought down a level. You're going to be brought down whatever level you can earn. But he said that, and I was like, oh, awesome. And again, he was a great guy. He's just was a businessman. And when it came to negotiation, he was tough. And yeah, I caught him on a good day. Definitely caught him on a good day. I had a lot of difficult conversations that year, though. But that one was by far the one I thought was going to be the most difficult. Vinny Del Greco says, read article that stated that humans that read books have more compassion and empathy. It makes sense because you're outside yourself and view someone else's life and experience. Yeah, I guess. I don't really read that much. So what are you saying, Vinny? What are you saying? I don't read that much. I don't read books. I read a lot, but I read a lot of stuff online. Vinny. All right. Yeah. ETH staking is around 7%. Yeah, for now. I don't think it's going to stay at 7%. I think it's going to go down because there's going to be a lot more staking, because the staking is going to be in the ETH ETFs. There's going to be ETFs that are going to be rolling that into their ETFs. So yes, there's going to be a lot more staking, and therefore the return is going to come down. Going to come down. But yeah, FETH, well, yeah, but I don't hate money. And right now, ETH's at a very attractive price. A very attractive price. And given the timing, I just don't see, I have a price target right now. I bought like 1,800. So right now I have a price target of around 2,500 to sell like 60 to 70% of what I have. And then I'm going to hang on to the rest until 4,000. And then I'm going to get out. But I really believe it'll be to at least 4,000 before the end of the year. So not financial advice. None of this has been financial advice, but that's what I think that's a pretty good bet. Obviously there's plenty of other things that could go up a lot more than that. But yeah. I think Litecoin would maybe go up more than that. There's this new term. I hadn't heard of it before. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. Dino coins, dinosaur coins, meaning that they've been around forever. I hadn't heard that term before. At least I didn't remember hearing that term before. So a lot of people are saying dino coins are going to do well. Obviously Bitcoin, Litecoin. So those are the main two. Came to smoking in. Wait, what? I've been taking notes. You can take notes all you want and then do your own research. Nothing wrong with that. Dino nuggets. No, not dino nuggets. Dino coins. Dino coins. Alrighty, guys. It is now 9:30. Been going for an hour and a half. I am going to call it a night. Probably take a look at some of the things I shot today, or maybe I'll just relax and do that tomorrow morning, get a good night's sleep, go to bed a little early tonight. I think that's probably what I'm going to do, but we'll see. Oh, Yusuf Puts, didn't see you here. Just been out there lurking, I guess. But yeah, you got here late. Oh, okay. Sorry, I did not see you chatting. One last, not those kind of notes, been stealing keys from keyboards. Huh? Stealing keys from keyboards. I am way confused by that, but yes. Good night. What is that? Good morning, good day, and good night, or whatever that is from noon, good night. Yeah, that's what it is. From Truman Show, yes. God, I haven't seen that movie in so long. Alrighty, guys. Well, thanks for all being here. I appreciate it. If you like this kind of content and you're still around, please hit the like before you leave. And if you aren't subscribed, would love it if you would subscribe. In the meantime, I will be here again next Sunday night, live, and look out for some content coming up this week. Alrighty, guys. Have a good night. The General is out. Have a good day. Where's my outro? Oh, there it is.